Hey guys, it is Nick here with Nick's Topics, and we are back with another Walking Dead topic. And today, got a little bit of a treat. Something that a lot of people asked in the past, and that particular topic is, what if Rick had killed Negan at the end of Season 8? Now, everyone thought, you would think that at the end of Season 8, Rick would have been, done. He would have wanted to kill Negan. But unfortunately and fortunately, that is not the way the story turned out. Now, don't get me wrong, Negan is a very kind of likable character in the series as of now. But he didn't used to be, but we then knew why he was the way that he was. Now, we look into the story of what would happen if those events didn't come to pass and Rick sealed the deal and killed Negan. Let's dive in. We start off at the end of Season 8 as Rick's group and the Savior's group line up for a final confrontation and a final duel. We then go to the part where Rick and Negan fight. Rick backs Negan into a corner and slits his throat, somewhat like he did in the original, except with a lot more hate, which basically cuts straight further into Negan's throat. This time, whenever he sees everybody behind him, he doesn't save him. Right after slitting his throat and seeing everybody behind him, he grabs another gun from someone else because his python was out of ammo because he used the last 2 shots on Negan. He grabs another gun from someone else and finishes the job. A clean blow to Negan's temple, which finishes the deal. And everyone, but the Saviors really, cheer and congratulate Rick for finally dealing with the menace known as Negan. This would please Maggie greatly. Her husband's death was avenged. Daryl also, because he supported Maggie on Glenn's death. Now, here's the big thing that we need to get to. The thing that would turn the entire situation around. Initially, basically, Rick had said in the original, if Maggie had killed Negan in the prison cell, he would have become a martyr. The war would have been for nothing. Every person who would have died for nothing. Even Carl would have died for nothing. That's basically what this scenario would be like. Rick would give his speech, everything would go somewhat according to the way that did it in the original, but worse. And by worse, I mean a lot worse. The Saviors in the original had basically been causing problems somewhat, but it wasn't too big a deal, and Oceanside was just killing off the surviving Saviors. The Saviors would still be definitely kept prisoner because they still surrendered, and it's not, their lives were being held, so it's not like they were basically just following orders. That's why they weren't killed in the original either. But in this case, like I said, Negan's death, he would have been a martyr. The Saviors, basically in the original, Daryl had, the sense, he already knew, that the Saviors seeing Negan alive in the jail cell sort of made the Saviors wish for things to go back to the way that they were. But yeah, it was basically giving them hope that it would. But with Negan dead, what hope did they have of a true leader? They would take all their anger and fury out. The Saviors would rebel against Rick's group, stationing themselves up in a group of massive proportions and destroying all the communities. Of course, it would be a tough fight, and Rick's group would likely still have the edge, but sadly, all of the communities, mainly Hilltop, Kingdom, Alexandria, and Oceanside, there would be still a lot of damage would be done to all the communities, leaving the group at a definite big problem. Rick would still be around because, like, I don't think, because this would basically be happening after the event of Negan's death, because there is no way that the Saviors would stay loyal nearly to how much they did whenever Negan was held prisoner. So the issue wouldn't be the bridge like it was in the original. It would be trying to build back the communities and keep them safe. But sadly, the damage to the communities would be very, very severe. A lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of people would be needed to make the communities whole again. But sadly, that wouldn't come to pass. All because of one major big problem: the Whisperers. Because of the Saviors and Negan leading already, that was enough of a problem. But with the Saviors rebelling their own ways and basically almost destroying every single community, the Whisperers would seize this chance eventually and just march over the rest of it, turning all of the communities into their own land. And sadly, that's where Rick's part of the story and all that group's story would come to a sad end. And that's basically where our story wraps up, folks. Now, I know, it's not exactly like the happy ending that we all... At this point, we should expect some Walking Dead what-ifs to be somewhat bad and stuff. Because you can't expect every story to have a happy ending. Plus, this is how it would actually turn out. The Saviors would see Negan as a martyr, and they would basically that would basically be the end for Rick and the group. So leaving him alive, as we've seen in the story, the real story, that's turned out for the best. Negan's actually a good asset. Everyone, even though Rick ain't around, Rick was right to keep him alive. He knew that it would be right. Which is why, if this story had happened, everything would basically be going downhill for the entirety of the group. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this story. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I have been running out of ideas on topics lately, which is why I pre-record these, so that way I give at least myself a week or so to pre-prepare. But there's something else that I wanted to discuss, and I think something that needs to mainly be discussed on this channel, and that is my backup What If Fight channel, which I leave a link for in the description of every single one of my videos on this channel and my reaction channel. I know I've been back and forth between like different channels, but I made a backup one because of problems with YouTube and stuff. And I've recently been making a Ultimate Battle Royale, like a Battle Royale between all universes and stuff. Not like Dragon Ball universes, but like other animes and stuff. But I've not seen too much love on those for some reason. And that's also something that I want to touch base upon too. Don't get me wrong, I love doing these Walking Dead topics, and this channel has been getting a lot of love, more so than I thought it would. Probably going to be one of my most popular channels at this rate. But whenever I leave links in the description, please check out the description of every video and check out my other channels. Give them just as much support. I promise you won't regret it. There's a reaction channel, my backup What If I channel. The gamer channel I'm likely just going to keep out from now on because I'm not gaming or doing anything at this rate. But I encourage you guys to look at my other channels and videos, please, so that way I feel like I'm not just putting time and effort into one channel, because I like to expand upon it and hopefully make this a worldwide job for myself. But anyway, guys, that's all, and I'll see you later.